Hi, everybody. It's Amanda. I'm here today to discuss the energies of February. And all I can say is, wow, it is going to be a action-packed, transformational month that is going to start with fire and end with a beautiful parade. So let's kind of move through it. There's a lot to discuss. One thing I would like to kind of mention is the last week of January really is kind of like pushing us into the first alchemizing event of February, which is the Leo full moon. But the last week of January had a lot of heightened awareness and energy that is streaming in from our masculine side through our lower spiral. Some people looked at it like a dark night of the soul type energy. And it's because those fractals of our soul, those aspects of ourself that have lived through some very challenging moments are being kind of flushed up, brought up, so that we can integrate those parts of ourself, love those parts back into our heart center, back into 0 point, and balance that circuit, that duality, that density into 0 point, so that we can become more whole and release any of the type of somatic or traumatic kind of energy that's holding on, and actually could even be attracting the same type of situations into your life. So that's why it's coming up for release, so that we don't continue to attract it to us through resonant vibration. So January, the last week of January, and even still now, we've had a lot of solar activity. We've had heightened electromagnetic storms. We've had all of this very impactful solar energy that is attuning our inner antennas from all of our DNA and from our spine, which runs the length of our vertical axis, pulling us into our column of light. It also is receiving more activations around building that crystalline architecture to hold the diamond light frequencies, to hold more of that crystalline connection into this new age of light that is being birthed right this very moment, as we leave behind the age of Pisces. So this transit from one world to another has started, and well, it's been started, but now it's really kind of it's really coming into fruition. So January was about choosing that timeline, choosing that pathway. And as we choose that pathway, as we choose that pathway, it's being cleared for us as we step into the month of February with the Leo full moon, which is also called the snow moon, appropriately, because in the country we are having snow dumped everywhere. Actually, even possibly in the state of Florida, where I reside, they're saying it could snow this weekend, which that's really exciting, but kind of crazy. So to me, February is like walking into an alchemizing chamber. You've chosen your timeline of choice. You're going to be walking through this gateway, and it is going to burn off and alchemize all those aspects of you that don't align with this new soul, individual, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual body that you are walking and talking and embodying now, right? So Leo is very much about this energy of sovereignty, and it's very connected to the throat chakra, your voice, your frequency, how you show up in the world, not just with your voice, but how you use your voice. Your voice carries your spiritual fingerprint, basically. And it is something that is going to be more in use with your manifesting, in this new energy, because in the new energy, it's about speaking through authority, that which you wish to create from your inner truth, from your inner light, and your knowing. And if you are aligned in all of those ways, then that is how you are magnetizing new energy to you. It's through the projection of your voice. And it's connected to your creative endeavors. So it could be your voice, it could be writing, it could be drawing, it could be anything that activates the creative aspect of you, which is your feminine. And then you have the actionable part, your masculine. So the new way of manifesting is definitely through speaking. So there is this energy of fire that's coming in with this full moon in Leo, and the fire is clearing the throat chakra. Some people may have kind of prickly throats, sore throats. You could have laryngitis. You could have, this scratchy throat thing going on as your throat chakra is expanding and recalibrating to hold more of that fullness, more of that energy that is you through voice and frequency. So that's something that I've seen actually over the last couple of days with a few clients. It's also going to be burning off at the root chakra and the crown chakra, because that's our pairing. That's where we find that duality. Because subconsciously, the subconscious is formed from 0 to age 7, with same as the root chakra. So it creates the instability in your pelvic floor, which aligns to your mouth of God chakra at C1, or the Atlas. So those two are paired, or the temporal bone. I have a hair, it's driving me crazy. Or the temporal bones, right? So those two areas also could have some feeling going on. Some people are you could have sore back, low back, sacrum or tailbone, coccyx soreness. You could have neck pain, especially when you're turning left and right. You could have, again, throat, thyroid. You could have things going on at the Atlas. So those are areas where this transit could be felt. Definitely in the throat. My throat just went, yeah. No. So let's see. What else do we have? I'm looking at my notes because there's so many different things going on. I make sure we get everything kind of detailed out. So as the body works with releasing these physical manifestations that were created by belief systems that were entrained in your childhood, it is working to release those from the somatic part of the body through the fascia, muscles, cellular structure. And then it's also working in the brain, in the neural pathways, to create new neural pathways, to release any kind of old belief system, mental loops, trauma loops, things that keep you entrained to certain ways of thinking, feeling, and being, choosing the same thing over and over again. One of the things they're talking about is if you choose differently, you're going to experience it differently. So no matter what it is, drive home a different route from work, eat something different, mix up the time that you eat, go work out at a different time, whatever it is that you have these rigid routines with. If you have anything that's like that, although I know those can be comforting and they can be great, especially when you're in the time of overload, which we are, especially with work. If you mix it up, it does disrupt other neuropathway patterns. And some of them are all connected anyway. So my guides show me that just by changing some of those, you can change all of it. So that's something that could be coming up for you. It is all about restoring your inner power. So Leo is also connected to it, right? It's not just showing up with your voice, it's being empowered and using it to empower others, or to further whatever it is that your passion and purpose is. Even if it's simply following your bliss and your joy, because then you're still adding to the illumination of others around you. When you're in a coherent, joyous state, then you are bringing that same level of coherence to those that are around you and into the earth, because you're like an acupuncture needle walking on Earth's meridians. And so you're bringing all of that light through you into the earth as well. So anything that is going to reinforce the timeline choice of January is on the chopping block for the month of February. So it's just reclaiming, like the lion, your power, your inner authority, your confidence. And so because Leo is the Lion's Gate, which is 8/8, August 8th, and I keep getting 6 months, I feel that the energy of everything that's accumulating in the month of February, as we leave one world and we step into another, these transits are going to extend a little bit longer in the way that they impact us energetically and physically and even physiologically, and how we show up in the world and collectively. So plan that everything that starts showing up in February is going to be pushed all the way to that corridor for August 8th, because that is connected to, then it's connected to the gateway of bringing in the solar energy through the central sun into your own solar plexus. To me, that's the bookend of all of this energy, returning your full power and autonomy. And so that moves us into the next date that I wanted to discuss, which is February 13th. And that is when Saturn enters Aries. This is a huge, huge 2-year, like until 2028. It's going to initiate a action and pushback. I see it as this, the jailhouse revolting, right? Everybody is wanting to be free. And if, so we have the Leo full moon that is going to be like the warden, and he's letting everybody out of the cells. And then we have the solar eclipse on February 17th in Aquarius, which is all about humanitarian and striving towards a future in our multidimensional selves, and activating all of that inner technology and innate knowing and abilities that we have within us as this new human that is awakening. So the solar eclipse then is the leveling of the jailhouse. So in between, sandwiched in between there, we have this energy of Saturn and entering Aries. So it could be in your own world, it could be in your workplace, it could be in any kind of hierarchy type of top down situations. Anybody who is ruling with an iron fist, anyone who is my way or the highway, anything that is holding control, manipulation, any kind of tactics to keep you locked in a certain place, to be a certain way, to stay in this rigid life that no longer aligns to the choice you made in January. I keep going back to that, but it's true. Choice you made in January. So, and it's not just January, but that was the final choice point. Is really, it's going to be a lot. So the last time we had these major transits that are occurring this month was when the Civil War started. And that was for abolishing slavery. And during the same transit that it was abolished, thank God. And this is this new wave of freedom, freeing ourselves from anything that is keeping you enslaved to a system, a relationship, a job, a community, a life that feels where you do not have your own level of sovereignty, autonomy, and ability to create. So it is basically like just clearing the playing field so that you can step free of any restraint to fully shine the light that you are. It's really, destructively beautiful is the way I see it. It's amazing that we are so supported in this way by such a beautiful universe that it's helping us to see the truth of who we are. And a lot of what's going on, outwardly, because it's always happening inwardly, and because it's happening on such a huge scale, it is because everybody is going through this. So that brings me to another point of just finding patience with your fellow human, loving the people that are in their, with their blinders, doing their thing, bumping into you and doing whatever. It's because everybody's going through this. Everything inside of you that doesn't feel good anymore, that restriction and tension, anything that is creating any kind of dis-ease, disharmony, illness, stress, anxiety, anything that's creating that inside of you, it really is asking to be witnessed, to be purged, or to be integrated. Either purge it if it's not yours, or if it is you, integrate it, love it back to wholeness. So having a little bit of patience as you move through the month will be really kind of wise. So again, we have this amazing, huge solar eclipse in Aquarius on February 17th. And it's going to be all about innovation, technology, new advances in technology. It's going to be about our multidimensional self, the divine feminine. It's very much about recoding the waters of Earth, recoding the waters of our bodies, because water carries that crystalline structure that remembers everything that you are for always. And it is the same with Earth. Everything on Earth, the water of Earth, holds the memory of everything that has occurred here. And Earth goes through cycles to replenish this water, to recycle the water, to restore it, and to bring up from the depths of Earth plasma water that is encoded from the original creation of Earth, which is holding the creator energy. And so that water resurfaces, restructures the global waters. And then through our own inner waters, we are all aligned into this field of oneness. And so anything that you can do to be in nature, to be immersed in the loving field of nature, it can bring you back into coherence and harmony a lot faster than anything else can. There's going to be a lot of sensory overload, a lot of I don't know, I want to say mental health crisis. So if you know people or have know of anyone that has already some mental health issues, or neurodiversity kind of awareness around that would be really good, because not only are we getting all of this energy that's coming in from the sun, which impacts our neurology and our heart, because we have electromagnetic fields around our heart and our brain. So because of that, it's creating more of imbalances in the frequencies of the brain. And also there is a huge amount of stress that's going to be going on. And because we all link up through our heart space, through our coherence or lack thereof, we all kind of entrain to one another. We're entrained to the earth through our brain. We're entrained to one another also through our heart space. So just that's another thing to be mindful of. If you start having a lot of this feeling where you're overwhelmed, you can't connect, you can't think, you can't form a sentence, you don't remember what's going on in your workplace, whatever it is, it's good to step into nature and to connect through the heart with the energy around you, because it's not holding any of that stress. And so it can bring you back into balance quicker. So any kind of grounding techniques will be also really helpful in the month of February. So it's remembering to zoom out for the broader perspective that we're moving through this impasse so that we can get to the beautiful thing on the other side, right? It's like if you're traveling in a Jeep down a bumpy road and going through all the switchbacks and all of the bumpiness in the Jeep, where being jarred everywhere and all of your stuff is flying out of the Jeep and you're trying to just hold on to the seat. And then the last curve, you're going to go around the side, and then there's this gorgeous, serene, beautiful lake, great picnic area. The weather's beautiful and everything calms down. So this is the journey of getting us to where we're going, just in perspective. So on February 17th, we also have the Chinese New Year, which is of the fire horse. And of course, that's what it is, because it's fire. We're in a 1 year, which is all about our foundation. It's gateway 1 in my own cosmology. And so it is fire. We know Aries is fire, and it's also the year of the fire horse. So it is, again, purging, purifying, and bringing back into balance through this purification that the truth of who we are individually, helping you to see the truth, illuminate your pathway forward, burn and blaze a trail for you to follow, so that there is this pathway forward for you. So it's going to be a very amazing and also transformational time. So there's that. How about that? What else do we have in store for us? It just keeps on going. So February 18th, the sun is going to be entering Pisces. So we move from Aquarius into the Pisces season, and it shifts the collective a little bit more towards family, emotional depth, tapping into the heart space, emotional resilience and intelligence. It's bringing us back to 0 point. So after we move through all of this fire and this alchemizing, we move into the depths of water. Again, it's going back to the earth, recoding the water, right? So we move into this water. We connect more into our own inner waters. And it really ties into what I feel is going to be going on towards the end the next week, which is when on February 25th, Mercury goes retrograde in Pisces. And I'm going to get to that in a minute, because before that, as we start coming back into the heart space and the beautiful, luminous energy of Pisces, we also then have on February 20th, Saturn conjuncting Neptune at 0 degrees Aries. And this is not a typical transit. It is kind of rare. Not kind of, it is. It's a big deal, because it is a 0 point affecting the collective, right? So I feel that we're being brought back into the heart space because we're wanting to bring the collective back into the heart space, because 0 degrees Aries is like, that's what creates the foundation, right? That's the initiating I am in this space. I am choosing to do this. It is where everything kind of initiates. It's the fusion of all of the cellular process, of all the biochemical process that creates and alchemizes you into matter. So it's creating this new foundation for humanity and the new human potential to step onto a new and beautiful foundation. And with that, it could be impacting global structures. So it goes back to that need for freedom, and it will be on a massive scale. So everything, not everything, but a lot of systems are going to be coming up for a makeover, a restoration, maybe not a complete teardown, but definitely there are going to be some renovations going on. There's going to be a lot of new information that's going to be coming in. It's the age of Aquarius that we're moving into, and coming through the Aquarius month and season. There's going to be this new insights. People that are stepping in, following their past passion and purpose, are going to be bringing in new ways of of working in the world of business, because that's something that's going to be going through a makeover in the education system, in the healthcare system, and lots of government systems, you name it. And then also in your own inner systems. So like your limbic system, your circulatory system, your autonomic nervous system and central nervous system. These systems, outwardly and inwardly, are all having to be reformatted. They have to align to the frequencies and the energies that are holding this new crystalline structure for us to participate within. And it has to be resonant match, right? So the old energy of this top down, ironclad rulers, monarchies, are not going to be received very well. And it also could be other things. So it could be religious structures. It can be anything that has a hierarchy of oversight. And so it is going to be something that we're going to see a lot of. So back to the heart, back to this, your beautiful luminous heart. February 22nd is going to be the 222 gateway, and I will be having a live event on that day. I work with the energies of gateways, and so this particular one is going to be about it's going to be about choice. It's going to be about choosing how you participate. And this particular one is leading with heart, choosing your heart over head, choosing to love yourself, choosing to unify your masculine and feminine aspects into cohesion in all planes of existence. So that means also your left and right hemisphere, your masculine and feminine, or your electric and magnetic self. So your upper spiral and your lower spiral, your left half and your right half. I mean, so everything needs to be integrated and loved into wholeness. To me, it has a lot to do with that. But on another level, if you're somebody who has been looking for a relationship, I also see that this is a time for soul reunions of all levels. So if you're looking for friendships or situationships, your love of your life, whatever, this may be the month you actually just run into that person. And then it's very much about all relationships, because relationships are mirrors that show us how we relate to ourselves, and what we're actually needing to work with, are either going to be strengthened or they will be released. And so that healing can come through with all of these frequencies that are coming in during this time. So the 222 portal this year really is about solidifying the inner relationship and then connecting into the relationship that you're meant to experience, whatever that is, in whatever dynamic, right? So then we have, again, so we'll go back to the retrograde, February 25th, and it goes through March 20th. It is the first retrograde of the year, and it's in Pisces. And so it's very much about Pisces is about connecting into the unseen. So it could be spiritual reflection. It could be you have had a lot going on in the month of February, and you start looking outside of yourself into a bigger lens to see yourself more fully, to see how to shift your world into one that makes sense for you on all levels of you. It is very much about communication on all levels and technology. However, one of the things I really think that this period of time is a reset. The way that I see it is, when you install new hardware in a computer or new software in a computer, a lot of times you have to do a restart my computer, right? So you have to turn it off, and it reboots and comes back on, and then it's all installed. I feel that we are having a new operating system that is being installed, or the opportunity to have. And this is going to be a reboot where everything goes down or quiet and comes back on. For how long, I don't know, but it does feel like there are global implications the way in that I'm seeing this, because I see everything is quiet. Everything feels really quiet. There's not a lot of movement, and it's a lot of inward looking. So what would create this reset is something that is probably another one of these beautiful cosmic fingers of God, just helping us to move through this process. But there is this feeling of slowing down, of inward facing, of inner reflection, introspection, a deep level of right? So remembering who you are. Yeah, that's what it is. Remembering. It's going back to the remembrance. One of the things I keep hearing from my guides is the new healing is remembering, because it comes from within. And when you remember the truth of who you are, all things are possible. And that's why there is so much potential and beauty in store for all of us as we move into this beautiful new year and into these new energies. And so, as I was saying, we start with the fire and we're ending with the parade. And so on February 28th, there is a rare, of course it's rare, planetary alignment, 7 planets. And I love the number 7. So we have Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Mars all lined up, leading us into the month of March. So there's so much I could go on and on forever, but I'm going to do individual videos for the full moon for some of these transits. And then I'm also going to be doing the annual review for the year of the horse, the fire horse. And I'll be doing that one as we get closer to the 17th. So I'm also going to be doing a coherence challenge. Every day for the month of February, I'm going to be live, and I'll also have it on Zoom if you don't want to be live on social media. And we are going to be working with tools and techniques that will help you to elevate your coherence, which can be reflected through any of your wearables, through your heart rate variability. And it will also build your emotional resilience. I'm called to do this because I feel that all things that are requiring us to embrace, whether that be, starting our business or starting a relationship or being a better friend, connecting more deeply with our children, whatever community orientated projects you have, whatever it is that you want to create, because that's what this is about. All of this is about moving everything out of the way so that you can be the creator that you're meant to be, to live the life that you're meant to live. And for any of that to occur, you have to be coherent. You have to find a way to manage this new stress, the levels of stress that are coming in. And our nervous system was not created, the survival nervous system, the survival mind was not created for the times that we're moving into. There's way too much electricity. So our nervous system has to be upgraded. And that is the operating system that is being integrated into our hardware. So for the reboot, right? Anyway, so this will help you to create higher capacity for managing all of this transformational energy. So I'll have all that information in the video description box. And I hope you have a wonderful and amazing February. And I hope that it brings you into a place of fullness and brings you everything that you are hoping and desiring to experience. All right. we'll see what happens. I'll see you guys on the other side. Bye for now.